Hey, Candy.
I sure am.
I wonder if they just heard that sigh that you just did, like, as soon as I hit record.
Oh God, you heard a sigh?
I heard you let out a sigh. I don't know if it was picked up when I started, you know? I feel like your
But now
energy
you,
is
now you just
like,
now you just let everybody know that there was a sigh, whether or not they picked up on it or not.
I mean, yeah.
Thanks, thanks for that.
I
Now
mean,
they just
that's just about the energy right now. You're just kind of like that. So, I'm just asking, you know?
no sigh. I don't. I mean, maybe I was letting know I was breathing. Maybe that's what you heard. I was just
Mm,
like, you know, I think that's probably what you heard. So,
okay.
eh. Anyways, hey
What's going
Sha,
on?
happy Black History Month.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, or are you one of those people that like, man, we're Black History all year? No, that was just supposed to be your like comeback, like you know.
Well, yeah, I am,
Okay, cool,
but
cool.
still, we're not at that point where everybody is like that. So we still have to, make it important. So, yeah.
Okay, we well Black all year, right? 365,
Yep,
blackity
yep.
black black. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. What's been going? Yo, this I know we spoke about it last month in regards to just the news and just like so much going on, but I feel like Black History Month has a lot going on too.
It certainly does. Um,
A lot, a lot.
yeah, I don't, let's get into it.
Okay,
This,
okay.
this Jesse
Ugh.
Smollett story has me very triggered. Like, I'm when it first came out,
Mhm.
I was like, wow, I can't believe this happened to him. I hope he doesn't die from these injuries. I didn't really read the details of what kind of injuries happened and whatever. I was just like, okay, like, I hope it's not really bad. And
Mhm.
then all the stuff starts to come later about it not being true. And I just don't know how to feel. And he got arrested now, facing charges for, I forgot what the technical term is, but like, I don't
For
know.
making what a false police report or something like that.
Yeah, but I forgot the official, what it's
Uh,
called. But basically that, and he possibly could be facing federal charges because they're saying that he had sent something in the mail to himself, like a threat, about a month ago.
okay, so sorry, pause. So I don't know if it picked that up, but like you kind of disappeared, like for a
Oh,
little bit just a while ago.
I think
I
it
don't know
would
if
have
that was
picked up
picked up.
on my end. So,
Okay.
hmm
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
right. And so I just have so many thoughts. Like, I keep hoping that it's not true. Like, I'm not. I'm honestly on the part of not jumping to conclusions because I'm a big conspiracy theorist, and I feel like if he's lying and it's true that he's lying about all of this, then that's terrible. And, he should face his punishment with the swiftest of means. Like, whatever the punishment is warranted for that. And I really would like to hear why he would have chosen to lie if that was the case. But
Mm.
if he's not, like, I just want to wait to hear what is going on because there's still this lawyer is still speaking and saying that all of these accusations are not true.
Right.
So how do we really know?
And I saw where I'm not sure they showed a clip of these two, I guess it's brothers. I don't remember the name of the brothers in the store buying the hat and
Yeah.
and and it, what how does that tie in with what they're saying. Do you know? I didn't.
Right, they're
I
saying
didn't.
that those two guys are the ones that attacked him. They admitted to attacking him, and they're the ones that have admitted to are saying that he paid them like it was a whole setup.
Got it.
Hmm.
Got it.
So they have video of
Ah,
them buying the stuff because they already were arrested because they had footage of them and like leaving the scene. So they were arrested. They confessed allegedly, or not allegedly, but quote unquote confessed that this was a setup. He paid them $3,500 to beat him up. Really, they probably did. They are saying they didn't really beat him up, but the whole attack was staged, is what they're claiming. Apparently, they were also actors on Empire, but like minor roles.
oh, wow.
And one of them is like his trainer.
Wow.
Hmm. So,
Um, let me listen. I social media has a way of just creeping in ways that you just not prepared to start thinking like that.
right.
I wasn't I didn't want to get into it yet until I, like you said, heard all the facts and everything. But here you are scrolling through your Instagram, scrolling through your Facebook, and you start seeing the little jokes here and there,
Hmm.
the people's comments here and there, and it's just like I wasn't ready yet to form a conclusion,
Right.
like I wasn't ready to go there yet, but but I can't even help but like, okay, that's a good comeback. Like that was kind of funny, you know.
I have not been laughing. I literally do not find any of it funny. Like,
Yeah, there's
I.
some that I've found. I mean, I wouldn't say Kevin Hart funny, but it's a good comeback. It's a that was a great meme. Whoever thought of that, like you guys are creative.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
that the internet is undefeated and remains undefeated, but like
oh,
I can't laugh at it. I'm so triggered by it. And there's some people that say, "Oh, when the story came out, everybody was quick to be posting in support of him,
right.
with
Right. I saw
the
lots
whole
of
thing."
arguments happening
Yes,
with that. Yeah.
sure. And then now that there's a question, nobody is, not many celebrities are going back on their word. And I'm like, well, why should they? Right?
Mhm.
Because, if he did lie, then that's terrible. I can't take back what I said. And this one guy, Van Layton from TMZ, was like, I'm not gonna take back my, you know, my rage for what happened to him because this happens to people anyway, and
Mhm.
I'm going to continue to believe the victim. At that
Right.
moment, he was a victim and presented to us as a victim. So what I said still stands. Like,
Right.
that's a horrible thing to happen to a person. And then
And I guess
another.
his family members still have it up too. I was, wanting to see what they would come out and say, but they're still standing by what they initially said also.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
so tricky because,
Yeah.
is there something behind this? Like, is someone out to get him? Because you think about this. This is not just. It wasn't just one major offense, right? You're
Mhm.
calling out racism and homophobia at the same time. So that's a
Mhm.
big deal. So and for them to be wearing the MAGA hats and whatever, that's
Right.
now straight linking back to the president. So the conspiracy theorist in me is like,
Mhm.
somebody don't like that this came out that way and is trying to silence him. Or he really did set up the whole mess and he's lying. And so now the next thing about that to me, I read something yesterday and I was like, you know what? I definitely agree with this because in this case,
Mhm.
what he did, if that's the case, is terrible. If he is lying, but
Right.
he didn't kill anybody. He didn't do a mass shooting. He didn't. No one was hurt physically. No one died from this. And so we cannot be so quick to crucify him. If he did do this, then there's clearly some mental problem. Like your judgment is off. Your insight is off on what is real and what is okay. And someone was saying how they don't even, when these white boys shoot up the church, everybody's forgiving them. And when you're claiming mental illnesses, and they're taken in alive and all these things, but what he did doesn't compare to those things. So why should we be so quick to crucify him for this? And so that's why I would rather wait to hear the story. And if he is really lying, then that was a sick joke. Like, that was not okay, but I'm not gonna cancel him, really.
I think I'll definitely wait also because, I guess once you watch a lot of Scandal and
yes, exactly.
watch those shows, it makes you think like, okay, somebody is being the fixer here. Somebody, something else is happening that they're not telling us and not showing us. Yeah. Which is pretty scary to think that. I'll wait a couple more, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I even saw this guy that I follow on Instagram was even just saying that, okay, so we're gonna charges are being filed against Jesse, but there are some other people that you need to file charges against. I guess there was some lady accused a 9-year-old black child for groping her in the store. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that attracted a lot of attention. I saw where he posted that and was like, okay, you need to hold her accountable now,
Right.
And he listed a couple other incidents that happened, and they're like, hold these people accountable. So, of course, everybody's now getting into all of that also. So it's a lot, and I just, like you said, just waiting to get more information. The family is still standing by what they said. They haven't changed anything. His lawyer's still standing by it. He's still standing by it. So,
right.
Let's see, I guess.
Let's see, I think this is one of those times where you can defend standing by black people until the facts are out, right? Because really, there's no equality in how we are treated in the justice system. So just like those examples you just listed, yeah, his is on a larger scale because he's a celebrity and it was all over the news. Okay.
Right.
And even though all those people were on a similar scale because it was covered by social media, yeah, if they weren't held accountable, then maybe we do need to defend him and be like, no, then don't punish him that harshly because you ain't do that over here. And I think that's fair to say, like what that guy is pointing out. That's definitely very fair because it's true.
He was saying to even start with the white woman that lied on Emmett Till. They're like, start with her. Start there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. There are a lot of conversations going on about this, and
so Black History is not really off to a great start this Black History Month.
Hey, so January wasn't off to a great start. We in February, like,
no,
can we live?
So then with that being said, you got these companies that are literally trolling us to our faces. Like,
try the mess out of us. Okay,
I've been over it from the Target ones last year or year before, like the other ones. So now we got Gucci. I don't wear Gucci anyway, so easy boycott. Burberry, I've never owned anything Burberry. Easy boycott. But
Easy.
there's a whole bunch more that came out this week. You know, these other brand names and stuff like that. And I'm like, these you are not telling me, none of these companies can tell me that any of this is a mistake. Because, like we
Mm-hmm.
posted on our thing, black outrage is the new marketing strategy. These people are
Yeah.
literally sitting in the boardrooms and going, yo, let's post this really risque, new design. And what's the worst that could happen? Black people are
Right?
going to get outraged. They're going to say they're going to boycott. It's not really going to happen. We're going to get publicity from it because no publicity is bad publicity. And
Right.
that's exactly, they know it's the same pattern of reaction that happens every time one of these companies does this. So they know.
I
It's
definitely agree with you. I definitely think they know because if you think about it, a large company, a large brand such as Gucci and Burberry and all of those stuff, it's not just Shine that sit down and say, "All right, I like this. Let's put that out there."
hmm
Stat. No, I'm sure it goes on different chains, goes on the list. But this person checks it off, signs it off. We like this. Next person this, it goes to the designer, and then it goes to the printer. And like
yes.
it hit a couple different people.
And they have to decide, they have to look at it and decide about marketing and
Right.
whatever. And so that's where I think, because you could have a designer that designs something and
Mm,
you could get stopped somewhere along the line when somebody's like, no,
right.
that's going to be bad for business. But no, they don't do that. They're like, you know what, this could work. Like, yeah, we're gonna drive up the numbers with this one.
That Burberry one though, like honestly,
Which one was that one?
honestly, the one with the noose around the neck
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah,
the back
yeah,
of it,
man.
Shan.
At that point,
Shan, come on. Who? Okay,
well, they're
I could.
saying
Yeah.
that it was some marine themed thing. So obviously, like, marines and those kind of places, they tie knots. But you clearly put a knot around a neck. A knot that is the same type of knot that's tied for nooses. Like, you know what I mean? Uh, what's your defense?
Do you think that we could be overreacting, Shan? Do you think there's any way that we could just be
I
just?
almost just cussed. No,
I,
okay?
I just want to
No.
just make sure, because sometimes
We
I
are
go in the
not
back of my head, I'm
overreacting.
like, are we tripping? Because I don't know. I don't know
In
how it.
fact, we are underreacting, okay? Because, so, obviously, T.I. called for a boycott, other people called for boycott. We really do
Right.
need to do it. We need to understand the value of the black dollar. Okay? Like, from back, I remember when we were first calling for boycott when Target did this mess
Mm-hmm.
like a year or two ago. And I really sat down and looked at it and I was like, yo, if we really, and I go to Target all the time, literally with no intent, nothing that I need, and give them my money. Okay? But
I'm literally just giving to them.
what I'm saying is at the time when that happened, if we literally did what people were calling for and stopped shopping at Target or wherever the other place was at the time,
H&M.
H&M, if we literally stopped shopping there, what would they do? It would definitely give an impact and they would learn to put some respect on our ish. Like, like, stop trying us. Like, seriously. But we don't band together, enough. Like, why? And then why is it that we can't let go of these brands?
Right. Why do we feel the need to wear these brands of clothing? Why are we so materialistic?
I don't
Why
know.
do we feel like it validates that we made it or we got money or we arrived? Like, why is that? It's like in our blood. Like,
It's
why?
it's
How did
his
that become that way? How did we become this way?
it's a
Or
historically
self-esteem
ingrained.
or happiness or everything
Yes,
is based
it's
on these watches, these cars, these clothes. I don't get it.
we have the wrong idea of what wealth looks like, and we've talked about this. We've had a
We
whole
have, we
podcast
have. we
about
have.
this. And it's funny because even just last week, Gucci, again, what's her name? Keisha Kaur, who we had the whole episode about their wedding,
Oh
she
gosh.
bought him this disgustingly extravagant ring that looks like a woman's engagement ring,
Mhm.
but like 65 times as large and 6,500 times as gaudy. Like, and he puts this thing on his pinky finger for his birthday. And I was like, he already had like a ring
And
on all the other fingers.
he upgraded hers too.
Man.
He upgraded hers too. They both had their hands together in the video, and it showed that she upgraded him, he upgraded her, and and I look at the comments and I see everybody's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, and I'm saying, bruh, like,
I wish people
please
could
do
see my
not.
face right now because when I saw the picture, I made a face like, what
Yeah,
is this?
same
Like,
here.
why?
Can we let's buy a house and put our
And the thing
people
is,
on board.
they have houses, I'm sure. You know? It's like, I was having this conversation with someone, and I was like, at this point, when you have all the money that you could ever have, and you have several cars, you have several iced out pieces of jewelry, and you have all the brands of everything, and you can easily buy that on a Tuesday. When it's my
Mm-hmm.
birthday, then why didn't you, like, I don't know, do something personal? Like cook a meal, or let's have a picnic, like something that we don't normally do. Like, why would you need to buy me another identical piece of jewelry that doesn't look any different from everything else I have?
So let me ask you this, Cheyenne. Do you think that they were always like that before the money? Like they were always into those things? Or do you think that now that they have the money, this is this is what I want. This is what I'm into. Like,
What
you
I
know,
think is that it was already in their mental that that
hmm
is what making it looks like. They were
okay.
already
Okay.
misinformed and had the wrong idea. So when they made it, that's what they do with their money, right? If you again
hmm
you compare it to white people and other races who are not new to money, they don't go
hmm
overboard with things when they get to money. They live very simply. They are not even, not that it's simple, but they're not
That's,
flashy.
they're not flashy, right?
Yeah.
Right. And the thing too, even with this whole topic is, yeah, we talk about, okay, changing the game and so forth, but then you realize that it's come to the point where even while you're trying to change the game, your own children won't even go to school if they aren't dressed in a certain way or in certain brands.
But
So you
that's coming from you, right? That's coming
right,
from you
right,
because I
right.
personally, I never had nothing in any kind of brand when I was going to high
hmm
school, right?
hmm
Even in Jamaica when I was wearing uniforms, people had, everybody wanted to have a JanSport bag. Then I think my mother bought me a John Sport bag one time, and I was like, well, here we go, And then another time, like when I moved to the States, everybody, of course, at school is
hmm
wearing the latest of everything. Like, I had regular Payless shoes and regular clothes that didn't have any name on it.
hmm
So I don't see the value in any of these brands. Like, I barely buy anything that has a logo on it for myself. So when I have
Right.
kids, that's exactly how they're gonna live. You're gonna live in regular things that look nice. It's not necessary to have something with some name on it because now that we know, these companies don't respect us anyway. Or maybe we
Right.
need to start having some black brands start we need to start supporting these black brands and let them, start to push themselves up, and then, that I would support.
Right, right. And I mean, and again, there's nothing wrong with having nice things, but we shouldn't let these nice things, validate us and have this whole look at me and I've made it syndrome, and
There's
like
a difference
you
between,
can still look nice without letting brands
yeah,
define you, and what looking nice is. Let's change what looking nice actually looks like.
there's a difference between nice and extravagant
I'm extravagant,
and
right?
extra. Like, Keisha and Gucci are extra. Okay, some of these other celebrities, they're just extra. Like, this is
Listen,
ridiculous.
even our own down the road people,
Yeah.
they're extra.
Girl, listen, y'all go listen to podcast whatever number it is. This is the same conversation. I'm not even gonna. I can't. But I feel like that's one of the problems with us as black people. And, so it's part of why we are still where we are today. Like in 2019, companies should not be trying our faces without facing real repercussions, right? They
Mhm.
shouldn't be able to do that. Are we should have so much power and so much influence that we able to define what happens in society. Like it just doesn't make any sense. And why are we not there? Why are we not more influential in a positive way than we are right now?
Yeah, this whole thing is just crazy. And just to go back really quick to even I don't think we got there yet, but even with the Gucci,
Mm-hmm.
again, Gucci is just an extension of um a parent company, of an umbrella. So
Gucci the brand.
yeah,
Yes. Uh huh.
so even that, so if we are, because they say they're boycotting, and then next thing you're attending a Gucci release party. I don't know. Um, if we are boycotting, research the other brands that fall under that same umbrella,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and do the same with them. Like, just stop purchasing those other brands that fall under that same parent company.
Right.
So,
Because we don't recognize the power of our dollar. We might be poor, okay, on a grand scale, but we spend the most money, which is
we
kind of
do.
why we're poor. So, you know, if we turn this money into and leave it in our community, like there was some statistic about like how fast the a dollar can leave the black community versus
Mm,
other races. Like, they put money back into themselves. They only spend with their people. Jewish people, they hire other Jewish people. They buy from Jewish owned stores. Same thing if you go into the Asian community, things like
mm,
that. They hire their own, they spend at their own, whatever. We get
ah,
money, we go to the Asian place to get our nails done. We go to the Asian owned beauty supply store. We go to these big brands, and our money is now gone out of our community. When if we
mhm,
really, it's still hard to find, black businesses to support for everything that you want in life, because if you
right,
watch like the trigger warnings with Killer Mike that we kind of mentioned last week, his very
right.
first episode,
Last episode, yeah.
he was trying to live completely black. He wanted to only use black products and only from black businesses that were supporting black business. Like it was like a whole chain
Mm,
reaction of it, which is a little extreme, but he was trying to make a point. Like a lot of the episodes was like extreme, but he's trying to make a point.
right.
And it was hard for him to do that even here in Atlanta. And so it's hard to do, but if we started to make a conscious effort towards that, then you would be more educated on where to find these things. Like, there's this chick here in Atlanta who has the slutty vegan. Okay? Every
Right.
day for the last for the last month or two since she opened the store front, people have
Mm-hmm.
been standing in line for hours. Black people trying to
Wow.
get into this place to buy an expensive burger. Okay?
Wow.
Myself included. Guilty. I stood in that line with my friend for, what was it, 2.5 hours
Oh my
in the
God,
cold.
seriously.
It started to rain and waited to get up there and buy a burger from this black woman, okay? And before she opened this store, she had a food truck that was parked in a random parking lot, and she used to have lines just the same. All night,
Very
people would be
good.
in line.
Nice. Nice.
You get what I'm saying? No one
Nice.
is buying, none of those, like, her line will be like 100 people deep a day, right? No, no. So that's 100 people that day that's not buying McDonald's, that's not buying from another burger place. Like, you get what I'm
Nice.
trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just
Yeah.
literally need to know how to support our own. And one of my goals before I leave Atlanta next week is to open a black bank account, like an
Thank
account at a
God.
black bank, because there's so many here in Atlanta. There's not that many in
Mm-hmm.
Florida.
You're not. Yeah.
And so,
My sister is always talking about that, like always, and yeah, we need to. We
yeah.
honestly need to. And I remember I sent this video to my younger sister, so y'all, because I got two. But the little one that's still in school, I remember sending her this video that I came across, a marketing video. I guess I'm thinking it's probably from the 50s or the 60s that talks about
Mm-hmm.
selling to the Negro.
Yes, I remember you said that.
And I was like, this is it. Like, do you see this,
The
Cam?
description of what they even said was like they were accurate. It
Very
hurt.
accurate. Very accurate.
It hurt to watch it, but it was accurate, right? Y'all, they were saying stuff like, the black man needs you to cater to his ego, and the black
Right.
man likes things with name brands and symbols
Yes.
on it.
Yes.
And I was like, yo, they been new. They've
2019.
been
New.
they've been peeped the game, and they continue to use the same strategy against us.
They're still using it.
How many years later?
And you know what? And I'm here thinking, okay, can it really be that hard for us to boycott? Like, I mean, to boycott these clothing lines. Like, do we? Can we really do it?
This
Because I
is
know I can say that for myself because I know that I've never been into labels like that. I'm not a label whore. Um, so it's not hard for me. But who is it hard for? Like,
it's hard for
it,
people who still are mentally enslaved to that idea, right? If you still think that that is what making it looks like and that is what status looks like, you're going to continue to do that. It's again, I always feel like none of these things are going to change in our lifetime.
mm,
Sadly, I just feel like it's not going to change in our lifetime. We're going to have to raise our kids to understand things differently. And, or,
or kids are going to raise the kids because if you think about it, no, with the millennials
yeah.
having children, remember, it's the millennials sending their kids to school in the flashiest of flashiest. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's them, um, dropping off their kids in the fanciest cars and everything. It's the millennials because the millennials didn't get what they wanted from their parents. No, they're no, okay, I didn't get to wear this. I didn't get to take this to school. I didn't, okay, I'm going to make sure that my child has all of that.
I
All of
don't
that.
know if I specifically agree with that in terms of the millennials. I feel like this has been going on, right? Like, I feel like when I went to school, there was majority of the kids that I was around was in the flashiest of things, and they were millennials. They got all the latest things.
Well, because you said the change probably won't happen in our time. So I'm
Right.
saying which
Because we're
generation will
still
create that change?
Right, because we're continuing to think, but I'm saying like
We're continuing it.
if we're speaking out on it now, and the more people that become activists and speak out and try to educate, there's like a wave of it going on right now. Which I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure there was a wave years ago again. Like things like
Mm-hmm.
that. It There might be a change. I just don't feel like it's gonna happen in our lifetime.
You, you remember hearing about Tommy Hilfiger when we were in school? Do you remember hearing about that?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean,
It just hit me with what you're saying.
yeah, I specifically, I remember my aunt used, she still does. She'll buy clothes and send to us, whatever. When I was in Jamaica still, she would send stuff down. And at that point, she was buying a lot of brands,
Mm-hmm.
specifically Tommy Hilfiger. I used to have a lot of Tommy stuff. And I remember, honestly, at a young age, hearing, or maybe a little bit like early teens when I first got here, hearing about the that Tommy Hilfiger was racist, and I never wore another Tommy thing again.
Mm.
Like I just never did. I think
I'm not sure
maybe
if I ever had anything, Tommy. I can't think of anything I've had with that symbol.
yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know.
maybe in college they had these purses that I didn't realize was Tommy until after I bought it. But it didn't have that traditional Tommy label on it, and I had bought it from Ross for like nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
that was probably the last thing I bought. But in between those times, I never wore anything. But yeah, it's this has been going on. They try you, and then
Mm.
we just continue to think. And then I feel like again, it's just a lot of things that are holding us back as Black people that we literally have to make a conscious effort to change. But it's like in different parts of the country, people are exposed to different things and their experience is different. Like, Black people in South Florida are
Mm-hmm.
more diverse and have a lot of Caribbean influence and whatever. And maybe in Atlanta, maybe in New York, DC, whatever, these big cities, people are more woke and more exposed to what's going on. But you find some small town, in Alabama with Black people, they still have the mindset of things that are going to continue to keep us down, you
Right.
know? So it's just, I don't know. Even with exposure to social media, they still, how they're brought up.
So even with the conversation of supporting our own, and I'm asking your opinion on this. So we have the high end European clothing lines that they're wearing, and we're now saying that we're going to boycott. But but do you remember when like Rockaware was out and Fat Farm
Oh,
and
wow. Yeah.
Fubu? What? Why do you think they didn't make it? It wasn't.
That is a good question.
Yeah, those are black
I
women
have
clothing
no
lines.
idea. Sean John.
Sean John.
I mean, I think I still see those things.
I don't
Well,
see
in
Fubu.
not Fubu, but I still see. Well, I don't see their stores anymore, but
Okay.
I still see those brands. I mean, not all of them. I haven't seen anything Rockaware. I probably see some kind of Sean John. Maybe I'm
But even
tripping.
like
I don't know.
yeah, that I don't know. Like now that I think about it, they were I don't know, they were promoting their stuff. They had great marketing ideas. Like they were popping, but
Yeah.
they it just didn't continue.
So
Why?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe these people.
Yeah.
Well, none of these people are wearing their own stuff, right? Jay-Z isn't
Mm,
wearing Rockaware.
okay,
At one point,
okay,
maybe now
okay.
he's not wearing Gucci either, but before he probably was. He switched to, you get to a certain level and then you switch to these other names, right? You know, I don't know, what is Diddy wearing? You know, is he still making his own suits? You
Is
know,
he
like,
wearing Sean John suits?
yeah, I don't know. I think that's on them.
Mm,
I don't know.
okay,
I mean, I
okay.
can't speak to it, but
No,
I,
are you saying is that why? I mean, is it that we as a people didn't see them wearing the stuff, so we went and they were wearing the shade? For instance, they were rocking was Gucci, so
I mean,
because we're
maybe that
followers,
is.
because black people are also we're followers. It's what's trending on the TV and the music videos, on the
Right, because back then when those brands were popping, it was all over the TV, right?
right,
And that's
right,
why we were buying them. Not me, but that's why it was
right,
wanted. So if I guess at some point they stopped wearing them, their own things. I mean maybe business wasn't good. Maybe they didn't manage their business as well. Maybe something happened with
mhm,
that. But I mean,
mhm,
could that have been the case for all of these brands? Like that was literally like
right,
four brands
right.
we just listed. Like there's no
Right,
way.
exactly, exactly. Fat Farm Rockaware, Fubu, Sean
Yeah.
John, Carl. No, I don't think Carl Canal was black. I don't remember. But yeah,
Yeah, I think they just stopped marketing their stuff and stopped wearing it. I don't know. Who knows? But
and
that's a
Baby
good
Fat.
point.
Remember Baby Fat?
Yeah. And Fat Farm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I would love to see who will be the first black celebrity to come out with his Gucci clothes on the runway or at fashion week. See who can't hold out.
Well, Floyd already told us he can't hold out. He
Oh
has no
right.
intention to hold out. Floyd Mayweather. I
Mhm.
mean, no one's
Yeah.
surprised. Floyd is notorious for, I don't like to use this word, but the coonery of things. He's very notorious for that. Like this, did you see that picture he posted the other day? Again, extravagant, like excessive. Standing on all that money. Did you see him?
No, I didn't see that
He
picture.
has a picture. He's wearing like this extra robe with all this jewelry on, and he's standing on a pile of cash, like stacks. And I was just like, bro,
Oh my gosh. I think
like,
we have worn this topic. Like, oh my gosh.
I don't know. So, okay, I made a list. I can't continue to do this. I made a list of things that are holding us back.
Okay.
It's not a very extensive list.
Okay.
But the
You
first
sure?
thing I think that is holding back us as black people is not educating ourselves on our own history. Okay? Now, Caribbean people that are listening, I need you to stop dissociating yourself from African Americans. We're talking about black people now, okay? Because when the police pull you over, you're black.
You're
And that's
black.
it. So
Okay.
let's just get it together, okay? And honestly, all of our histories are the same. There was slavery in Jamaica. There was slavery in St. Lucia. There was slavery in Trinidad. Everywhere
Yeah.
you want to name it in the Caribbean, there was slaves there at one point. We just live in America now. If you do, if you're listening internationally, welcome. Um, so it all applies. You need to know your history, okay? Now, I've recently been delving into some deep dive history of black people, and I
Mm-hmm.
have accepted the conclusion that all life started in Africa, and no one can tell me otherwise at this point. And so there are so many things in like African history
Mm-hmm.
that tells us that really we are originally the superior race. I'm just like, the whole kings and queens thing is not just some talk. Like this
Right.
is
Not just like
real.
from the movies. Yeah.
It's legit, okay? Real stuff. And until we, like, there's always a saying, you can't go forward until you know your history. And it's a lot of stuff out there for you to learn, and we should start being more proactive about learning our history, learning where we come from, learning the things that we are capable of, and embracing who we are. Because otherwise, really, we're just going to be stuck here in the same cycle.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay then. So, okay,
Next,
one of those things holding us back. Okay.
the other thing that's holding us back is basically, we just kind of touched on that, is not supporting each other, right? We
Mm.
need to support each other in business, and we went into that. We need to support each other in education, like in, our the children, the kids, me, like, you know, getting people who are trying to make it, in regular careers and not just, trying to play ball or music. You need to support your everyday person that has ideas and plans, like as a community. You know, you sent me that thing. The black church needs to
Oh
support,
yeah, I did. Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
so passionate on that topic. Don't get me started on that one side.
yeah,
So
the black church. Honestly, I was just again, that we touched on this last week, the Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin conversation. Did you watch? Did
I
you
started
listen?
watching it. I did start watching it. Yeah,
At
I didn't
some
finish
point,
it.
they talked about the power of the black church and how the black church is literally failing black people because of the
Oh,
influence that the black church has. Right, the black church could do so much
they could do
if,
so much.
honestly,
Yeah.
even backing up, if some of these black churches, like, maybe, I'm gonna call names, if TD Jakes stood up and said, yo, we boycotting Gucci, like, do you know?
Exactly, exact. Listen, Shine, I told you don't get me started on this topic, Shine. Don't get me started on this topic because I mean, listen, you see, pastors and all of them bishops and stuff, they have that same influential power
Mm-hmm.
that 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 Jay-Z has,
Yeah,
that Obama has, that Michelle has. They have that same, they
that's
have
true.
it. They're influencers. They do it every Sunday. They do it every Sunday. They have
Right.
they influence over 100 people every freaking Sunday. Now let me tell you, if you energize those people to just think better, think bigger, move better, um, 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 they the same messages in Michelle book is in the same thing Obama goes up there and do every whenever I'm giving speech is the same thing them same ministers can do.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't feel that we need to be as low in self-esteem and broke and everything as we are, because if we're doing this for generations and getting up and going to church every Sunday every day, there has to be a different message out of there. There has to be something more than just, I don't know. I don't think God is pleased. I don't think this is all He wanted for us, because they got to be something. We pray, but we got to move. We got to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something off with the setup to me, because I know we work on the spiritual man, but but what about the other parts of the human? What about our,
I'm biting my tongue. I'm biting my tongue because
I'm sorry, I told
you
you,
and I
girl.
have had this conversation off air, and I am not ready to disclose some of my new opinions because
Even mentioned with the colleges, Shine. Let me tell you something, people that are listening to me. If we really wanted to empower the Black community, let me tell you something. When we have our young people and they want to go to technical school, or they want to go to college, or they want to go wherever they want to go and learn a trade, or get a degree, if we actually said, hey, let's take that $100 or whatever that we're about to pay a pastor or whatever, because it's anniversary or some revival.
mhm,
If we took those $100 from the members of the congregation, you could help to pay for a child to go to school. You could help to alleviate some of those loans that are
wow,
that's holding us down.
Listen.
Okay, people spend the rest of their living years paying loans. And Shine, let me tell you something. If we were actually thinking smart as a people, no, you tell me that you go now and you get this girl through college. Okay, she wants to be a doctor or a lawyer, and she's go to school. She worked on getting all her scholarships she could already get that's out there, and we helped her too as a church. And she's good. She graduates. She get her degree. No, you tell me. I guarantee you that girl is going to flip it and sew into that same church that helped her get from beginning to end.
Yeah.
You have your own black lawyer that's going to help y'all. Your own
Without a
black
doubt.
doctor. Without a doubt. Without
Without
a
a doubt.
doubt.
Like free health clinic, okay?
Bruh.
Free law services. Then the next set of generation of kids don't have to worry about school because now I'm
Right.
making doctor money and
Right.
I can sponsor
Right.
a whole child,
Right.
Now this
Right.
person is running their own business and they can sponsor like
Sean,
why?
we cannot be the only we cannot be the only people thinking this. There's no way. There's no way that we have had a generation of parents and grandparents and now that no one thinks that we can make a change or shift this somehow. No one?
Here's what I'm gonna
Nobody.
say. I'm not gonna bite my tongue, but I'm gonna bite it just enough. That is because the version of Christianity that white people have sold us is meant to keep us down, and we are stuck in
Girl.
the mentality of the version of Christianity that we were taught to believe. And I don't buy it anymore. And that's all I'm saying about that. Listen, all of what you're saying is right. So much that can be done. We are failing each other.
We are failing each other. There should be no reason that you can go to church on a Sunday for how many years? 30 years, 40 years? And we are still in the same place. All of us, all of we in the same place. That don't make no sense to me. None of us have any popping businesses. None of us have no houses where we can take in. Here we have this mother that lost her home. Okay, I got space. Come through.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, one of the elderly mothers, she can't take care of
She
herself
needs some
anymore.
extra
Okay,
help. Yeah.
she needs some extra help. Come over here because we got a home. We got a home you can stay in,
Mm-hmm. We
and
we
come
got
live over
we
here.
got people who do that job that we can have come in and do this.
Because we put our people on.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to go spend all of that money
Mm-hmm.
on that white health home health aid company because we got our own.
All right.
We got listen, I don't understand it. I know, and the thing about it to me, why I feel so crazy sometimes is because I can't understand. Because I cannot be the only person that thinks this. And I feel crazy because I don't hear. I don't know. We just sit in it. We sit in it. We just sit in it and accept it and continue it and then teach it to our kid. Like there has to be there has to be more to it. Honestly, I pray about this too because I'm like, God, there has to be more to this whole ritual of
Yes,
getting up
I
and
agree.
going
There
and
is
getting up,
more.
and there has to be more to it.
There is more. I believe there is more. I just don't know how we're gonna get to it. I feel
We go to work, go to church, and do it all over again.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not okay with that. And
All right, the next thing that's on.
girl, I told you not to get me
I know. We'll
started.
move on.
Okay,
We'll move
move
on. The
on.
other thing I had on the list is, along with supporting each other through business, education, and the other thing was about mistakes and like holding ourselves accountable.
Mm,
We're gonna this new social media, not new, but this social media era that we live in is unforgiving. Just like we were talking
Oh
about
yeah.
Jesse, it's unforgiven. He's not going to live this down unless there's like inevitable proof that he's not lying. You know what I'm saying? So we don't help each other up from things like these. For example, and I mean, even though you gave me some other viewpoint on this, back to
Mhm.
this Gucci thing and Floyd Mayweather. Floyd,
Mhm.
after Ti was talking about boycotting and mandating us to do it for 30 days, 60, whatever days it was, because all he was trying to say is, you'll see the impact with this amount of time. If we do this, we can see what we can really do. And Floyd came out with his own response, and I just found a random dread in my hair. I took my hair out and I just
Seriously, Shine? Focus. Focus.
no, I took my hair out and I realized I missed one. Anyway,
Mhm.
um Floyd Floyd went on a whole rant about how he ain't boycotting and that ain't gonna do nothing and whatever, whatever. Which, in hindsight, now that you've pointed out to me, they have beef. So maybe he purposely responded in that way because of their
Mhm.
beef. But he was also spotted, full paparazzi seen going into Gucci and coming out of Gucci soon after the whole controversy with the sweater. Like, blatantly doesn't care that Gucci is trolling him to his face. So then Ti goes and makes a whole diss track and is coming at him on thing. So yeah, in this specific case, they have underlying personal beef, but we do this all the time as a people, right? We're canceling everybody on social media. We don't forgive. We're not understanding of mistakes. We're not understanding of missteps. We just quick to be done with whoever does something. When a conversation about a difference in opinion would be more productive. If outside of their beef, they were able to sit down and be like, yo, this is why it's important to do this. Why do you feel like this doesn't matter? And
Mhm.
understand each other. That would be a step in the right direction rather than beefing, on the internet. And that's in general. Outside of Gucci and all of that, these celebrities are always beefing. Everything on the Shade Room is about some kind of beef with somebody
All
else.
that's on the shade room. All
You know
that's
what I'm
on the shade
saying?
room.
And what does that look like? What do we look like as a culture? Just drama all the time, where you could just all of these problems, simple conversation can solve them. Just simply just talking to each other and hearing out differences of opinions, and we just don't do that.
No, we don't. We don't.
And so yeah, that's holding us back. And the last thing I had was the victim mindset.
Okay.
And I think that also answers the question as to, back to what I was saying about people in different parts of the country, you know,
Mhm.
different mindset. And I think there's a lot of people that still have a victim mindset. And don't get me wrong, the system is not set up for us. Okay? The system is not set up for our benefit. The system in America is just a continuation of slavery, in a different way. Because the prison system is set up to hold us all in there. The sports, the music, it's not for us, but it's using us to bring money to these larger corporations. So don't get me wrong. Yeah, the
Mhm.
system is there. There's a lot of things against us and that are keeping us back. But if you change your mindset, if you
Yes.
stop looking at yourself as a victim,
Right.
if you really realize and look to the people out there that are really doing it, you know, and that goes into talking about representation, like seeing yourself in different places, seeing yourself in the cartoons as a superhero, seeing
Mhm.
yourself like that page you posted, the black men in white coats, seeing a black
Oh,
man as a
beautiful.
doctor, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah.
about that personally when I'm going through school. I'm like,
Um,
you know, when I'm done, I need somebody to see me, this little Jamaican girl, come to
ah,
America, go to school, and now I'm a
love it.
doctor. Like, you know what I
Love
mean?
it. Love it. Yes. Yes, we
There's
need to.
someone out there that has not seen this.
Exactly. And I love that you mentioned that, Shine, because I believe that that's something that is also within us. Like sometimes we have that selfish mentality. Um,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
to hear you say that is where I'm at. Like we're not just doing this for ourselves. Let's do it for or people. Let's
Yeah.
do it for that kid that's watching us that we're may not be aware of. Let's do it for where we came from. Let's do it for or ancestors. Let's do it for parents. Like I think when you think big, when you think like that, you're not just, oh, I'm just gonna boycott for like 3 months and that's whatever. No, your kid is watching you.
Mhm.
Like stick to it, and your kid is aware of the boycott too. Because guess what? Your teen is on social media, so they
Right.
say, "Oh, mommy's still wearing Gucci, so it's not important." No, do it for that child watching.
Yeah.
Do it for that child that's gonna see you at church. Do it for that child that's gonna do it for the people that are, do it for the next generation. So you
Yeah.
gotta think bigger. And I like that you mentioned that little Jamaican girl. I remember the song. Nesbeth has this song, Diamond Boy, and he talks about that in there, and I love it. But
Mm.
oh, guess what, y'all? I messaged Nesbeth on Instagram, and he answered me, y'all. Okay, sorry.
Okay,
Just wanted
girl.
to put that out there. Like Nesbeth recognized me and messaged me. Okay,
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
had a little conversation. I'm not going to share that on here, but he texted me or he messaged me. Okay.
Okay. So you
Um.
had him in your DMs. Okay. All right. I'm
Yeah, I
done. I'm done.
slide. I
You
yeah, I
slid in
slid
his
in Nesbeth
DMs.
DMs, y'all. I did, but not on some nasty level, y'all. I'm not
We
like that.
know. We know.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah.
Let's end this on a positive note. We're at
Okay.
our time. Uh, what are some positive stereotypes? And positive is the operating word.
Okay.
Positive stereotypes of black people.
Um, that they have out there about us, right? Um.
Black don't crack.
Okay, that is one. Okay. They also say that we're very athletic. We're good at sports.
Yes, we definitely do dominate in any sport that we touch. Yeah,
Okay.
even in the ones that are traditionally white.
Okay. What else? We season our food well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I've gotten
Black
that
people have
one.
rhythm.
We have rhythm. Yes,
Mhm.
I've heard that too. We're also very creative. I've heard. I
Okay.
don't know how you think about it. Okay. Um, So I know you questioned this one, but I'm gonna throw this one out there that we can fight.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, positive. How is fighting positive?
I mean, we can defend ourselves. We need to defend yourself,
But
right?
that to me that says there's something that negative there that I need to defend myself against. But I'm not gonna argue with you. Okay, positive stereotype. We can defend ourselves.
And we have strengths. We have hold that we have there's power in our hands and
Okay.
okay. What
Okay.
else we have?
Black men are well endowed.
Oh, okay.
That is a
Yes,
stereotype, which
that is it.
one of my preceptors, this doctor I was
Mhm.
with, he was a black man.
Mhm.
His theory is that that is the root of racism. Is
Mm,
black men's penises. he thinks,
really?
he says that is why we were enslaved because white men were insecure. That's his take, and he's sticking to it. And I was like, all right then.
Wow. I've never heard that before.
Actually, yeah, there's people think that too. There's some working theories on that too, but I mean, I don't think
Okay.
it's that simple.
Right,
I
right.
don't. I don't think it's that simple, but
That's an interesting one
I'm
that
sure
they.
it contributed to the
Oh,
to the problem. But yes.
okay, okay.
Let's see what else. We are kings and queens, you
We are
know, and that is not a
right.
stereotype. Like I said, that's some real stuff, and we need to embrace it and just live in our I don't know, our
Yeah,
destinies or whatever.
I am, and I would love. I guess when we get into next month, I'm going to share some of even. Well, anyways, I carry myself as one. I believe so. I
Hmm.
believe I am, and I believe in our black men too. And yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think this is a dope episode. I think we had very passionate parts of it though, but I feel like we're always super passionate about different things, bruh. Like
That's
we
true.
go overboard sometimes with some things, but I love this topic. I did. I did.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Well,
I think
that's
our ancestors would be proud
yes, yes,
that
I
we're
def-
speaking up on these things. I think they would be proud.
yeah.
I think my grandma would be proud. Shout out Eileen. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Shy. Do your thing.
We're just gonna wrap it up. We're a little over time, so
Mm-hmm. Hope
um,
you guys stayed from beginning to end.
right. I mean, it's okay if you paused it and came back to it later. You know, I have to do
Yes.
that sometimes with
Yeah.
other things that I listen to.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah. So like and follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Share us with your friends. You know the
Uh-huh.
handles at these two girls. These the number two girls with a U on Instagram. These two girls pod on Twitter. These two girls podcast on Facebook. Email us at what is it? These two girls podcast at gmail.com.
Uh-huh.
And just, tell us what you think about the episode. Comment under
Yes.
the Instagram post. Tell us, send us, slide into DMs. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
And, whatever. Any feedback, any suggestions, anything.
Yeah, we'll take it all. It doesn't have to you don't have to agree with us to,
Right, right. That's what
slide
we're
in the
talking about.
DM. Right,
Conversations,
yeah. Yeah. Yes, let's talk about it.
But share us with your friends, and we will continue more conversations next time.
Bye.
Bye.